everybody, to Sports and Leisure with Heflings and Heisure. This is episode 34. Today's date, January 19th, 2020. With it being the NFL Championship week, which I think is going to be hopefully both great games. I'm excited about good football. I don't really care how it's done or who's doing it. I just want to watch good football, and hopefully that leads to a good Super Bowl. But what I did with this episode, I went and contacted our correspondents for each remaining team in the playoffs. Unfortunately, our 49ers correspondent ran out of time, so that's why it's taken so long to publish this episode. But you're going to hear from the other three corresponding teams. I just wanted to get their feel on what they've been watching in the playoffs from their teams and how they think they're going to do today, and what worries them about the other team. And then I asked them if their team were to win, who would they rather see in the playoffs and whatnot. And then I got their predictions from the Super Bowls. And obviously each corresponding team picked their team to win the Super Bowl. So, but it's always good. It's always nice. I'm always interested in seeing each fan's perspective of their team, as it gets this far into the playoffs. Being a Redskin fan, I don't know that feeling. I haven't seen it. The last Super Bowl they won was 4 months before I was born, and they haven't. I think they've won 3 playoff games since that. So, like I said, that's why I'm interested. I want to see how people are feeling this far and this close for their team to be in the Super Bowl. So, let's just get into it. And here we are with our Green Bay Packers correspondent, Blake Erdman. Blake, how's it going today?
Oh, not too bad. A little chilly up here.
Oh, it's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit up there?
Yeah, roughly. It's
10 degrees Witherspoon.
Snow tonight.
Snow. Yep. Oh, geez. Yeah, well, it's like 30 here, so I guess you consider it chilly here. I wish I'd get down here. I miss the snow. But how's it going? How you feeling? First, you're a fan of the Packers. I want to ask how long you've been a fan of the Packers. I want everybody to know that you're not a bandwagon Packers fan. So how long have you been a fan of the Packers?
Oh, about as long as I can remember. It's growing up and stuff. Grew up with a family of Vikings fans. Brother, dad, my other brother. Kind of surrounded by it. So I figured I'd be the one to go a little different route.
The complete opposite route, yeah.
Yep. Kind of pick on them. And
I don't feel the Packers are bandwagonable. If you haven't joined the Packers in the last 10 years or so, you're never going to join the Packers. So
no,
I don't think I've met anybody that's been a Packers fan the last 2 or 3 years. That's just
you gotta kind of grow up with it, I think.
Yeah. So you've been watching the games so far in the playoffs. How you feeling about them?
Oh, it's been a stressful roller coaster, I think. Aaron Rodgers he's been good, but I think he gets, like last week he was against Seahawks. He was just, I think he got ahead, he coasted, and I think everybody kind of slowed down and defense got a little bit tired, and Russell Wilson was just kind of all over it. I mean, It was just tough to.
You can't stop Russell Wilson. I mean, that's just what they did that's as good as you're going to get, I think.
Yep, and I think so too. I mean, they come out strong, and it was 21-3 halftime, and then second half, I've seen them do it numerous times.
Against the Seahawks.
Yep, and luckily every time the Seahawks played for this at Lambeau, they're 0-4 right now. So
and like you said about Aaron, his stats aren't what they used to be, but he really doesn't have to do that this year. He finally has a running game. Aaron Jones has looked really good. He was great for my fantasy team, and their defense is above what it usually is. So I think that's been helping him a lot. He hasn't been having to do everything. So, like I said, that defense is going to be good. I think there'll be a good matchup this week against the 49ers. But that tough thing is that offense of the Packers, are they going to be able to move on the 49ers defense?
See, I don't know. I have it in my head that, Devontae Adams is pretty much, I think, going to be shut down by Richard Sherman. And then they got a few other guys, Lazard and Jimmy Graham, those guys, they're going to have to step their game up, I think. Devontae can't do everything for them, And Lazard really has stepped up this year, being a rookie. He's really come together, I think, as a player, and Rodgers really kind of starting to trust him and believes that he can make plays happen.
Yeah, he's no Jordy Nelson in his prime, but he's a decent second receiver. And like you said, it's hard to argue what you said about Adams being completely shut down. I mean, it's hard for anybody to believe that, but with the way Richard Sherman plays,
Yep.
it's tough to go against him too. So I mean, I'm sure he may get a couple of them, a couple touchdowns. I mean, not touchdowns, a couple catches, but. I think the big thing is if they get that running game going, which is the hard part. They had that last time when they played the 49ers. They couldn't get Aaron Jones moving, and that really kind of – but it goes the opposite, though. If you get him moving, I think that'll open up a lot of things. I think that's the key thing in there.
Yep. And last week, too, with Bulaga being gone, he had some illness, so he was pretty much he was out the whole game, So those two, between him and Bakhtiari, they kind of make a duo for the offense for one, but defense-wise, it's something that they are going to have to prove that they're not going to make any mistakes, and they're going to have to be on top of it in order to win this game. I think it's going to be a pretty stressful, nerve-wracking game for me anyway.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. And, yeah, that's going to be a stressful game anyway because, like I said, both defenses are going to be good. I don't think there's going to be too many points put up on the scoreboard. But on the flip side, we talked about the Packers offense and the 49ers defense. That 49ers offense, I think, may not be as good as the Packers, especially with the run game. I mean, they don't have like an Aaron Jones or anything like that. They may have a few better options in the passing game than the Packers do with Kittle, and they have Emmanuel Sanders and somebody else I forgot. But a big thing will be that side. If the Packers can hold them and keep them to not score as much, I think that'll definitely keep the Packers in it. And if you have Aaron Rodgers in a close game, he can definitely take over. And I think if the Packers defense can slow him down, they have a chance to win just because they have Aaron Rodgers.
Yep, and I believe that it's obviously being a Packer fan, you're gonna root for Aaron Rodgers when a lot of people don't. But I think it's one of those things that my thought is if they get ahead by halftime by ways, I think that's going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah,
usually
that'll be huge because the 49ers, like I said, they're not built to have to pass and try and come back from a game.
Yep, and I think if Aaron, if Aaron does get to there, I've seen it. The team just kind of slows down and they play conservative. They let a touchdown here or there, or make a mistake here and there, and sometimes that can cost them the game. It's you just got to play smart and.
So how your prediction then? You think they're going to end up winning?
I think so.
You think
I guess
so?
As a fan, I got to say yep.
And I think that earlier game they had, that just absolute beatdown that the 49ers gave them earlier, I think that's going to help. I mean, it's tough to beat a team twice, especially after you beat so hard. The Packers are going to become, I think, a little hungry because of that more than the 49ers, just because they have it in their minds that they can beat them. So, so you think they're going to win. Who would you rather see in the Super Bowl, and who do you think the Packers are going to be in the Super Bowl? And obviously, if you think they're going to win it all.
Well, yep, I do. I think, and honestly, I would prefer to have Titans in, but I think Kansas City's probably going to take it.
Well, the thing is, if you beat the 49ers, the Titans are constructed very similar to the 49ers. So, I mean, if you can beat the 49ers, you can beat a team just like the Titans. I mean, Titans may have, like I said, they probably have a better running game, but their defense isn't nearly as good as the 49ers are. So, I mean, it's a little give and take, but they're generally the same team. And the Packers are pretty much the same team as them, too. They rely on run game and heavy defense. So, but, yeah, I'd be with you, too. I'd much rather play the Titans than the Chiefs. The Chiefs just looked...
I mean, to come back from that like they did, just,
and didn't phase them at all. So that's just...
they were out there having fun.
Well, I wish you good luck then this weekend and get a lot of antacids and whatnot and get prepared for that game. One last thing before we send you out, what is your favorite Super Bowl party food? Or one food that you have to have at a Super Bowl party?
Wings.
Wings?
Gotta have the wings.
What kind of wings are you eating?
Well, I like to get I kind of cheat and get the Buffalo Wild Wing sauce, the Asian Zing.
Oh, the Asian Zing.
That's
perfectly fine. Yeah, no, I'm going lemon pepper or a barbecue, but yeah, I'm with you. I gotta have wings there. So.
Yep.
Well, it was good talking to you, Blake. Thanks for being on. We'll definitely be in contact. We'll have to get you back on, and especially if the Packers win the Super Bowl, we'll have you back on. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, I'll holler at you later. Bye-bye.
Yep, bye-bye.
And thank you again, Blake. That was some good stuff. It was good talking to you. Glad we finally got you on the podcast. You've been you've commented a lot on the Facebook page, so that's good to finally get you on here, get you some thoughts. And when I thought of Packers fan, I couldn't think of anybody faster than you. I do know a lot of Packer fans, so yeah, he should cherish that, and he should really take that to heart. But if I was him, if the Redskins were in this position and they were playing the 49ers, yeah, I'd be definitely nervous too. I think the 49ers are the most complete team. That's how I feel. They have probably the best defense left. They have an more than adequate offense. George Kittle is a monster. Emmanuel Sanders is a speedster. He can be dangerous at times, and they got a lot of good people. I mean, Garoppolo is going to be, I think, the key. If he plays well, like you saw when they played the Vikings, I think they got a good shot. But that's something the corresponding of the 49ers should be telling you, not me. So, but that's okay. We'll get them next time. If maybe. Or it might have just put a curse or some bad juju on the 49ers, and they're going to play like crap today. I don't know. I'm not one to make snap judgments. But anyway, it's going to be a good game, I think, especially after earlier in the season, the 49ers just absolutely destroyed the Packers. I think they had that chip on their shoulder, so it's definitely going to be a good game no matter what because of that. But I think the 49ers, have that more complete team, and I think they're going to be able to pull it off. I think Garoppolo is going to do enough. But Aaron's going to fight him hard, but it's going to be a good game. But I think ultimately the 49ers have it. So, with that, we are going to move things along to the AFC side, and we're going to let you hear from our AFC correspondent. So, one second. And here we are with our Tennessee Titans correspondent, Tanner Wade. Tanner, how's it going?
Oh, man, hanging around. How you doing?
Doing good. So, couple of things I want to ask. I know you're a Titans fan, obviously, as our correspondent. So, how long have you been a Titans fan, and why are you a Titans fan?
Well, to be completely honest, I never really was originally a Titans fan. I was always an Eagles fan, and the only reason I was an Eagles fan was because of fantasy football. It was whenever I was in high school, and I was just trying to learn players, and the easiest way for me to learn was playing fantasy.
Yeah.
And then I basically was told to stop sucking and be a home team fan. So I guess you could say I've been a Titans fan since 2004, which was my senior year of high school.
Oh, that's plenty of time.
Still took me a little while to get used to them, just because I was kind of stuck on the whole Donovan McNabb and Deuce Staley train. So
yeah,
but
I mean, it's just 2004. It's not like you're a bandwagon. You just joined the team last year or this year because they've been doing well.
Oh no, I've been there through the ups and the downs with the Vince Youngs, the Jake Locker, that whole group, and
Zach Mettenberger.
Oh yeah. That diamond in the rough.
Yeah. So yeah, that's good. And you've been to a couple games, haven't you? How many games have you been to?
I don't know, probably about 4 or 5.
4 or 5.
I think the last game I went to was a Monday night game whenever they played the Steelers, and it was snowing, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, that was a couple years ago. Yeah. So yeah, you've been to 4 or 5. Yeah, you are a true dedicated fan. I'm putting that stamp on you. So, you've been watching the Titans play in the playoffs the last couple weeks. They had a fight to get into it. How you feeling with their playing? How you feeling this week against Kansas City? And tell me if you think they're going to win or not.
Well, I honestly didn't really. I didn't know how I was going to feel about the Patriots game. I mean, anytime you have to play the Patriots in the playoffs is always scary. But I thought that we shut them down pretty well. And then after beating them, I think a lot of people were just kind of betting on the Ravens. And for me, my point was I don't think Lamar Jackson had even played a down of football since December 23rd or something like that.
Yeah.
So
or close down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, that you're going to have that rust and everything. And I don't know so much if the Titans looked good against the Ravens or the Ravens just looked off. And I just think I think you have to depend on Derrick Henry, obviously. I mean, that's what everybody's going to tell you.
Yeah.
But, man, I just don't know. I think that Kansas City's offense is a different animal than the Ravens. But, I mean, I think we kind of play them the same way that we played the Ravens, keep the ball in Derrick Henry's hand, keep it out of Mahomes' hand, defense gets the turnovers, and that should win them a game.
Yeah. And, like, I have a strange belief in Tannehill. Like, when he needs to make a throw or when he needs to make a play, he's been doing it. Like, he hasn't needed to do much, but what he has had to do, he's done it. And, you know, I think without him, I think if Mariota's in there, I don't think they win those 2 playoff games.
Oh, not at all. And I think this game's actually going to come down to Tannehill, because I think Kansas City's going to do everything in their power to stop Derrick Henry, but I don't think that that's even possible. I mean, he's gotten over 180 rushing yards the last 3 games. I think he's the first running back to ever do that. And I don't want to say anything, but the last time we played them, he put up 188 rushing yards on them.
Yeah.
So
and they're getting defensive players back too. So the Titans, I'm giving them a pretty good. I think they definitely have a shot to win, because Kansas City's defense isn't all that great to be. And like you said, Tannehill's going to have to get called on here to put up some points in a drive or two. I think, because Kansas City's offense, like you said, is a different beast. I don't know if the Titans will be able to completely shut them down like they did the Ravens. I think Mahomes is better enough to overcome that rustiness or that bad start.
He's solid.
Yeah.
He's a solid quarterback, and the only thing that I guess I can't say, and I don't know Kansas City that much. I mean, I know that you got your Tyreek Hill and you got their tight end Travis Kelce, but the Titans don't really have just I guess a premier wide receiver. I mean, I guess you could say that with AJ Brown. He was a rookie
he has the looks
year,
of it, yeah.
Put up 1,000 yards, but he hasn't really been utilized in the last 2 games. I mean, he had a key first down that we got against the Ravens, but honestly, if you look at it, all of our touchdowns that we've had over like the past few games, it's to guys that no one's really heard of. Like,
guys stepping up.
Jonnu Smith's a new up and coming tight end. He'll be filling in and taking up Delaney Walker's spot eventually. But I mean, and if I'm allowed, I'll actually quote Kurt Warner on this. This is a stat that I saw that he said earlier. The last 41 attempts of the Titans, I guess, in the red zone to score, 40 of those attempts have been a touchdown.
Yeah, that's good, and they've been needed too, because it's not like they have a Vinatieri or a Gostkowski there waiting to kick field goals. I can't even name their kicker right now, and I know.
Yeah, I think they've been through about 3 kickers this year.
Yeah, and neither one of them have been trustworthy. So
yeah,
it's good. It's definitely coming at the right time. And I think that helps them too, because they know they're gonna have to get it really close to get a field goal kick, and by that time they're already at the goal line, and they got Derrick Henry to punch it in. So I think not having a kicker safety net is making them a little more aggressive.
Yeah,
but yeah, like I said, Patrick Mahomes, he like you said, the Ravens did seem off, and I think since they got off to that bad start, they just kind of started scrambling, and they never were able to recover. If that happens to the Chiefs, obviously we just saw it last week, they can recover. So, but I think the Titans defense will do a good job. I don't want to say stop them, but at least contain them to where they can give their offense a shot to win. So
sure.
You're picking the Titans then to win?
Man, as a homer, I'm pulling for them so hard, but the Kansas City Chiefs scare me. I mean, The Titans have beat them the last 2 games. One of those games was in last year's playoffs, but I mean, Mariota was at quarterback there, so I don't know. It's going to be a very good game. So I think if Derrick Henry's going to run for 200 rushing yards
somehow, some way, he's a grinder. Like, he just gets better and better as the game goes on. Like, he starts off getting 1-2 yard carries, and the second quarter he's getting like 4 or 5. Third quarter he's getting like 8 and 9, and then he rips off a 60 or 70 yarder somewhere in between there, and then before you blink he's at like 140 yards, and like, how the heck did he do that? It's just They're definitely got to lean on him. It's going to be.
That's with teams still loading up 8 and 9 in the box. So, like I said, I honestly think they're going to find a way to kind of shut down Derrick Henry, and I think the key to this game is going to be Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I would agree with you. So, you're a homer. You're picking them to win. Who would you rather they see in the Super Bowl, and who do you think is going to be in the Super Bowl for them to play?
I think San Francisco is going to beat Green Bay. I don't really know so much on San Francisco. I know their defense is very stacked. I don't know what Garoppolo's stats were, but for some reason he hasn't been a player that I guess has just stood out to me this year. But like I said, I'm not completely sure on what his stats were. And, I mean, if you ask me if I would rather play Garoppolo or Aaron Rodgers, I would rather play Garoppolo.
Yeah. Well, it's tough. I mean, either one, the Titans are playing a dang near mirror replica of themselves. I mean, both the Packers and the 49ers are built on a run game and a great defense. And out of those three, the Titans have the better running back and the best run game. Obviously, the Packers have the best quarterback, and the 49ers would have the best overall defense, I think. So, but either one of those, if the Titans make the Super Bowl, it's going to be a low-scoring defensive kind of struggle. But I think either way, it's going to be a good Super Bowl.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, glad you could take the time. Thanks for being on, Tanner. Before we get you out there, I want to ask, what is one food you have to have at a Super Bowl party? Or your favorite Super Bowl party food?
I'm a sucker for nachos. So,
For nachos?
I mean, even if it's not fully loaded chos, you got to have some pepper jack queso and some tortilla chips.
Pepper jack. Okay, that's good. I'd rather have Rotel there, but I'm definitely not going to turn out some nachos. I see a nacho bar there. I'm definitely going to be 100% excited for it. So, all right. Well, good luck this weekend. I hope you don't lose any sleep before this game starts.
Never.
And if the Titans win the Super Bowl, we'll definitely have to have you on again and see how you're feeling, okay?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks again, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. Later.
Bye. Thanks again, Tanner. That's some good stuff. That's very, very good to hear from that side. I'm hearing a lot of that, though, living in Tennessee. Getting a lot of perspective from Titan fans. A lot of them, most of them are nervous, but they feel deep down inside that like this is kind of their year. They've been playing well, and they think they can beat the Chiefs. Because I mean, to be honest, they already have. They did earlier in the season, and that's why they had the confidence. I think I would do the same thing, especially with the way they win games with the defense and the running game, which I think is the best way, and that's the most secure way to win football games in the NFL is the way the Titans and the Packers and the 49ers really do it, and that's run offensively and have a good defense. But thanks again, Tanner, for that. Had Tanner mostly on because he's good friends with me, and also he does the guitar intro to the podcast. So I want to finally get him on here because he's already a part of the podcast with doing our intro there. So I liked it, and once again, when I think of Titan fans, Tanner's one of them. So thanks again, and with that, we will get his counterpart on. Okay, and we are with our Kansas City Chief correspondent, Lauren Moning. Lauren, how are you doing today? Nervous. Okay.
First of all, I'd like to reach out to my Chiefs fans and say, hey, everybody.
Okay, there you go. Good shout out to Chiefs fans everywhere. That's good to hear. So, how long have you been a Chiefs fan, and what made you start off being a Chiefs fan?
Oh, man. I've been a Chiefs fan for probably 54 years. About from the start when they first played the Green Bay Packers and lost.
Oh, geez. I didn't want to ask if you're that old, but I thought you might have been able to see it. So, but I think that's incredible. I think that'd be really something. So I'm kind of jealous of you that you were able to watch that. So that's really cool. So I know you what made you want to be a Chiefs fan?
Well, I just the location I think was to Iowa and stuff. I'm from Iowa, and so. Yeah. Location to Iowa is either that, Minnesota, Green Bay, or something, and everybody was kind of going north, and I decided to go south.
There's enough of those guys.
Kind of picked up with the players that were on the team back then, but
that's good.
Kind of nervous for the week coming up.
Well, do you feel better about last week's game against the Texans, or do you feel about the same as you did going into the playoffs?
Well, even still being a true fan of the Chiefs and stuff like that, I just about turned my Chiefs sweatshirt inside out after we went down 24-0.
Yeah, that'd be tough for me to keep watching a little bit. I'd have to wait for a couple scores before I turned it back sometimes, but I know how you feel about that. So you got the Titans this week. How you feel about that? You guys gonna be able to stop Derrick Henry? You think they're going to be able to stop your offense? Tell me what you feel.
Pretty nervous, Ty. Tennessee's kind of had Kansas City's number.
Yeah. I think I saw that Andy Reid is like 0-6 against the Titans or something like that. Might have been more.
I think you're right on with that there ever since he was with the Eagles before the Chiefs. But Derrick Henry, he's proved to be an awesome running back, and it's going to – you had Baltimore, one of the toughest defenses. Couldn't stop them. So it's going to take an all-out effort for the Chiefs to get them. I just hope we score first and score last, and then we'll have them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, though, I think you definitely have the better quarterback left in the playoffs, and usually in the whole season, he's just something special. For him not to get rattled, being down 24-0, and just come out there and still end up winning by 20 points. That's pretty good, pretty ridiculous. But yeah, like you're saying, it'd be hard being a Chiefs fan, seeing what they've had to go through, to have complete faith that this thing is not that you don't have in the bag or something like that. Especially with the way the Titans have been playing. Would you rather have played another team besides the Titans, or are you kind of glad with that matchup?
Well, to be honest, I wouldn't mind playing New England again.
Yeah.
Just because I know we could have gotten them for sure.
Yeah.
Tennessee does present a tough go. I think the Kansas City defense is a little suspect to that run offense. I think we got the defense on the secondary to cover anything passing-wise, but everybody's going to be keying on Henry, and hopefully they don't over-pursue him. I was watching some video on it, and it seems like a lot where if he runs right, all the defense runs right, and he finds a hole to the left, and he's gone. So I'm hoping Kansas City defense pays attention and doesn't over-pursue and stays home and gets the job done.
Yeah, I mean, right now with the way he's been playing, keeping him to 100 yards, around 100 yards, would be a big win almost. The way he's been doing it, I was telling
probably impossible.
Yeah, exactly. It's just crazy. Like I said, he goes 2 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, 2, and then he'll rip off like 67 yards, and then he'll do a 20-yard after that. It's just
Ty,
crazy.
You're killing me.
I'm sorry. I just got done talking to our Titans fan, and he was just kind of putting it, But like I said, you guys got Patrick Mahomes. You got that offense you can score on just about a dime. And the good news is, whoever you play in the Super Bowl, they're pretty much built like the Titans. So if you can take care of the Titans and that good defense and stop that run, then whoever you get, either the Packers or the 49ers.
Now, here's a little food for thought with that there being said. 53 years ago is when the Chiefs lost to the Packers in Super Bowl I.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of a nice matchup, wouldn't
it? It would. I wouldn't. There really isn't a matchup that's left that I wouldn't be intrigued at or find something to cheer for or really watch into, and that'd be a big one. Another Chiefs Packers Super Bowl. Steven thinks it's a conspiracy and the NFL's been rigging it, so that would happen. So, but who would you rather see?
I like the conspiracy factors as long as the Chiefs come on the winning end.
Yeah, I would do the same thing. Who are you wanting them to rather play in the Super Bowl?
Actually, I guess I'd like to go up against the 49ers. They got that George Kittle. He's an Iowa boy, Iowa Hawkeye. And I guess I'd like to see that. They've got a number one defense, and we could bring our offense in there. It'd be a good matchup, and I think it'd be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, that would be, and having Aaron Rodgers, like I said, that his defenses have been a little better than they have been in recent years, and his run game's better, so I still think he's got a couple good games left in his pocket that he can pull out whenever, just because it's Aaron Rodgers.
That would be an intriguing matchup too. And don't get me wrong, but I'd hate to see it line up and then Packers all of a sudden beat my Chiefs again.
That's a midway battle. That's good for the Midwest though, is to have the Chiefs and Packers in it. But yeah, like you said, you'd have to hear it. But likewise, if they win though, you'd be able to give it to them for at least another year or so, and
at least for another 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so is that who you think is going to end up winning the 49ers?
I think the 49ers will take Green Bay. I think Green Bay's been on the lucky side this year. Talking to some Green Bay fans, they'll even admit that they've been more luck than good this year. So I think it's going to be. I hope anyway. I really think it'll be the Chiefs going against 49ers.
Yeah, and you're picking the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Andy Reid's got to get that monkey off his back sometime. And
I think this is the year. I thought last year maybe we came close. This has got to be the year.
But I feel the Chiefs and the 49ers, though, they're built. They got a good core, and I think despite what happens this year, they definitely have a couple more shots at it within the next 5 years between the two of them. The Packers, maybe not so much with Aaron Rodgers getting up there in age. I don't know how many more times he's going to be able to do this, so... at least you have that to look forward to if it doesn't go the way you want, and but I'm pulling for you. I hope it does because the Chiefs they've only won once, and it's been since Super Bowl
50
3
years.
Yeah, so
50 years ago. So
yeah. Well, awesome. I want to appreciate you for coming on. Before I get you out though, what is one food you have to have at a Super Bowl party, or your favorite Super Bowl party food?
Oh, I guess I'd have to have a big old juicy brat.
Okay. Grilled or on the stove?
On the grill.
On the grill, yeah. Even doesn't matter how cold it is. Warm up that grill and throw that brat on there. Okay.
Absolutely. Nothing like that.
All right. Well, once again, thanks for coming on, Lauren. I'll holler at you later, and good luck this weekend for you, okay?
All right. Thanks, Ty.
And if the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, we'll definitely have you back on.
All right. Thanks, buddy. You take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Well, there you have it, everybody. You just got the inside scoop on all the teams remaining there in the playoffs. So now you can plan accordingly with your pickings and your choosings and your bettings and whatever have you. So before we get any further, I will give them, like I mentioned, I thought the 49ers were going to win the NFC. I want to pick the Titans, I really do, but I think they're kind of running magic. I think it's hard to slow down the Chiefs, and I think especially after going down early last week and coming back and still winning by 20 points, which is still ridiculous to me. I think that built the Chiefs' confidence even more, and I think they're gonna whatever. Tennessee's been able to jump on teams, the Patriots and the Ravens, and kind of shock them and kind of punch them in the mouth, and they get them down and then they keep them down and they just run the ball and keep it going. I think the Chiefs are going to be able to withstand that, and I think they're going to end up winning, especially after losing to this point last year. I think they got the gusto, or they got the team to get over the hump this year, and I think it's going to lead to a great 49er Chiefs Super Bowl, which is, I think, the best one matchup wise, and we'll have a better choice of it being a really good game, whereas any other matchup. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I think that's what's going to happen, and I'll cross that bridge when we get there. I'm picking who wins that game, but like I said, I think either way we're in tail for some good football. So I hope that's what we get. Like I said, I just want to watch good football. I don't care how it's done or who does it. I just want to make sure we get a good Super Bowl, because last year's Super Bowl was awful. I don't want to sugarcoat it. It wasn't that fun to watch. It was it just wasn't that good. It wasn't good football. So this year I hope is different, and I think with the Chiefs and the 49ers, they'll be able to provide that. My least favorite Super Bowl would probably be the Packers and the Titans. I think that would probably be a kind of rematch of last year, but still, I think it'd still be a good Super Bowl, regardless of matchup with the four teams that are left. But I think having to choose which is likely to be the worst one, it'd be the Packers and Titans. I mean, Packers and Chiefs, you got that old school connection, in the first Super Bowl. It's the 100th year of the NFL. Steven thinks that the NFL has rigged it to be this way for it to be the Packers and the Chiefs, and I think that's just ludicrous. So that'll be an interesting draw. 49ers and Titans, I think, would be an interesting draw too. And it would just, cement that the Titans, have to play a better team each week, like a boss level. So, but yeah, Packers, Titans, like I said, still watchable, still a great game, but, out of the four scenarios or situations that we had to pick from, that's probably my least favorite to watch. So yeah, there we have it. I asked all those guys what the perfect Super Bowl party is. I don't want you guys to put on our Facebook page what Super Bowl parties and foods that you have to have, and hopefully we'll get that on there the episode before the Super Bowl. I want to get into, we went last week with Benz and Greg. We talked about which generic brands and name brands that you had to get because the generic brand wasn't as good, and we're gonna get some of you guys really hit the boards hard, and it was good. So I want to reward some of you guys. Where is that at? Not some of you. You'll be rewarding all of you. Okay, Blake, who like I mentioned earlier, was on. His is Del Monte peas. He has to have his Del Monte peas. Anything else is garbage, according to Blake. So I don't really eat peas. I'm gonna have to take his word that those are the best kind of peas. I don't know. That's kind of shocking that that's what he has to have name brands in, and he cares so much about his peas. Whatever. To each his own. So Lisette put Las Palmas enchilada sauce. She does not like the other off-brands. She says they taste fake. So can't have fake enchilada sauce. That's just unacceptable in our household. So I don't know if I've had that, though. I probably have, and I might, tend to agree with her more than the peas just because I eat that. Zach put pizza rolls. I'm hoping he's thinking Totino's pizza rolls. I guess I would have to agree with him. I'm not going to turn down, though, generic pizza rolls. So I don't know. Like I said, he'd have to give me, maybe he just had some bad generic ones, but I will admit that Totino's pizza rolls are delicious, and I would much rather have those than the generic brand. I'm not saying I can't have the generic brand. So Sherry put Kellogg's Raisin Bran, Oreos, and breakfast sausage. I don't like Raisin Bran, so I don't really care if there's a generic version of it. But Oreos, I think, that is definitely one thing that you have to have name brand on. They just the way they can hold up the milk a lot better. I think name brand Oreos are a must. That's so. It's been mostly sweet to have made out the name brands. And then breakfast sausage, I don't really care. I can have any kind of breakfast sausage. I'm not picky. I sometimes buy the ones in the dollar store that are frozen, but it still tastes good to me. It's still sausage. Mark put Skippy or Jif Crunchy Peanut Butter. That's another one I can go generic on. I don't get crunchy, but if you got to have your Skippy or your Jif Crunchy Peanut Butter, that's whatever. I don't like to crunch my peanut butter. But that's just me. Some people do, whatever. I don't care. It's peanut butter. So, Johnny put Heinz ketchup. She likes to have Heinz ketchup. I can go generic on Heinz ketchup. Not too generic. Like I don't get like the cheapest ketchup. I get like the step or two below the name brand. Because I don't want it to be too watery. I want it, to be good consistency there. So I will have to somewhat agree with her on that one. And then Roxanne, she put cheese. You gotta get the name brand cheese. If I'm trying to up my game, up my dinner or something like that, I will go with name brand. But if it's like, I don't know, sometimes I'll get sliced cheese for my sandwiches. That doesn't have to be name brand, or shredded cheese to melt stuff on, not name brand. But if I'm trying to go fancy, every now and then, I'll upgrade and get the name brand cheese. But I'm good with generic. So, like I said, thanks for all those that responded on that poll. I'll be putting another one up for Super Bowl foods. Honestly, with me, I have to have wings for my Super Bowl food. Rotel's got to be in the equation somewhere too, and I want the cocktail weenies either some way forward, either in pigs in a blanket or like in a crock pot sauce cocktail weenies. I gotta have those three things. If I don't have those, then to me it is a failure as a Super Bowl party. And if I'm throwing it, I'm ashamed of myself. And if I am just at it, I'm ashamed for you. So make sure you have those three things if you invite me to your Super Bowl party. Hope you guys enjoy the football today. That's why it's here. That's one of the great things about football is it produces some great playoff games, that you remember forever. And I hope today is one of those days and it gets us prepped to have a good Super Bowl. If you, like I said, you can email us, put it on our Facebook, on our Facebook post on Facebook, your Super Bowl foods, email us at sportsandleisurepodcast@gmail.com. Like I said, follow our page on Facebook, like it, answer our questions, do all that stuff. You can follow us on Twitter at Sports and Leisure, and I think that's about it. Hope you guys have a good week. Thanks for tuning in and listening. I hope you tune in next week, episode 35. It should be another special one. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we will talk with you later. Bye-bye. Sports and leisure, Heflings and leisure, sports and leisure, Heflings and leisure, sports and leisure with Heflings and leisure, sports and leisure, Heflings and leisure, sports and leisure, Heflings and leisure. This is Sports and Leisure with Heflings and Leisure.